Hey guys, Youth for Yields here. Today we're going to be going over the portfolio for the week. So starting off, you can see kind of how the S&P 500 is looking for the week. Kind of all over the place, but I'm not going to make any comments about any generalizations. But yeah, all over the place. So yeah, moving on into the actual portfolio, we can see that for this last week, our portfolio is up about 0.3%. S&P's down 0.16%. Composer portfolio is up 1.8%. M1 Finance down 0.2%, and then Webull up 85%. So that's pretty good. Moving on to the actual portfolios level. Let me fix this here. So I did sell out of the symphonies that I was doing tests on. I have those saved in a folder on ICDB for testing purposes, just to determine whether or not those could be worth going into at a later date. I don't know why this is being so weird. We don't want total portfolio. There we go. But yeah. So cool thing is, so I picked a few of these. Let me open ICDB actually and display kind of what I'm talking about here. So if I go into my folder and go to current port. So first of all, I have that folder here, low live detect a deviation. So those are all of the symphonies that I had in my portfolio except for one of them, and that's just because it wasn't in the database. I should probably add that. It's the QQQ lever that I created way back in like May. If I go to like the current port, you can see all of these are the current ones in my portfolio. So what I kind of looked for, I think I have a save filter here, was oops, well, there you go. But it basically is, a Kagger, and this Kagger is pulled from the Spy Kagger. You have the backtest OOS ratio, which is basically whether or not the the OOS data basically since the last edit went live, how well in terms of Kagger that is doing compared to its backtest. So anything I kind of look for anything above like 80% or 0.8. And that usually brings up pretty good numbers. We have first backtest date, and that's basically before 2008. So we can grab that because that is kind of the perfect test. Technically, the only other test I really want to test is the .com bubble, but or the .com crash. The problem with that is it's so long ago that a lot of ETFs and stuff just really didn't exist. So it's really hard already to get back to 2008. So yeah. Then we have max drawdown is less than 25%, and overguard is less than 20%. And overguard is just the score to measure over fitness. It as at least attempts to. But yeah, and then I kind of looked through all of these, determined which ones I think would be the best going into. So going back to it, I have these here. You can see that they all have decently different numbers and are all above that 0.8. Besides actually the Reigns portfolio, the Reigns concise portfolio that I'm in right now. But yeah. So I'll be testing these to determine how well these do. In terms of the one that did perform the best, because I think I had just barely got into this at Thursday close, so I only had one really full day to look at these, and that's what you see here. So far, we've lost a little bit of money on Park Your Money. Other than that, we've gained quite a bit. So all these went up pretty good amount. And yeah, you can also see on Friday, the S&P 500 went up 0.6%, where our portfolio was pretty much, well, not pretty much, it's 0.8%, and Composer was 0.1. Super nice, means we're doing pretty good. And you can see here that we are beating S&P 500 again by 0.01. So you can see there, and this is again since May 19th, but since May 19th, S&P 500 has given us about 13.84%, where our portfolio has given us around 13.85%. So very close there. You can see though we're still down for December as our total portfolio, which is really interesting. But yeah, what's also really cool to look at is you can see the I've been pouring a lot of time into Composer and stuff, so that's why I always highlight it. But if you look at the last 90 days, you have S&P 500 at 2.71% and our Composer portfolio at 5.65%. At the same time, though, if you look at the 30-day, you can see 4.26% and 3.23%. Realistically, though, the higher number is going to be really what we care about. We don't really care about what happened 30 days ago. We care about the entire time scheme. Now, you might say, okay, then look at total percent. The problem is this is going back to May 19th, and we had a lot of changes before then. So even 90 days is questionable, but yeah. That's why I'm trying to not really do any crazy changes to the Composer portfolio, but yeah, I think I'm going to stick with this Reigns Concise as my main driver of the portfolio. We did another investment on both this and M1 Finance, and I think we're around almost 30, let's see. I'm at 38,552. So probably our next investment, which will be in January, will make us, cross over to what you might call it, 40K, which is really exciting. We're getting close to 50K. We'll be there probably, in what? April? Probably April or May. We'll probably be at 40 or at 50K, which is crazy to think. Yeah, it just kind of shows you, like, yeah, me and my wife do our best to kind of put as much money as we can into this investment. So that's why we've been able to do this. But along with that, you might not have as much money as us, but what's important is that you're putting as much as you can away. And more importantly, is doing it consistently, right? There's so many times that I've been like, maybe I shouldn't do it right now, right? But I'm like, okay, if I do it now and I just stick to that consistent schedule of doing it once a month, then, it's going to pay off. And I might not beating the S&P 500. Well, I am right now. But, even if I'm not, this is just a hypothetically a glorified savings account. That's still better than most people, right? So I think it's just worth putting that consistently. It actually also gets you really interested in your own finances when you're starting to look at stuff like that. So it's helped us a lot. I don't know, who needs to hear this, but yeah. I don't have any other changes that I plan on doing here for, in the next little bit. So I'll let you guys know. I should be home I should be home on the 28th. I'm going to be going to visit my family for Christmas, of course, but I should be back. So, yeah, no worries on that. But moving into the M1 Finance portfolio, we can take a look here at the weekly amount. So it's only down 0.22%. Let me actually go in here. This is let's see, 4755. I just want to make sure this one tends to bounce around a lot due to various reasons like dividends, and also their what you would call it doesn't actually settle in, so their pricing. So anyways, let's get moving here. So the highest growth we've seen in this portfolio was Eli Lilly at 4.28%, followed by industrials with the highest movement there on Honeywell. Honeywell's doing actually pretty decent recently. And then last but not least, semiconductors with the highest growth there being NVIDIA. And on the opposite side of things, real estate. Real estate was down, well, AMT down 4.71%. Getting a little bit worried on that one, I'm not going to lie. I'll get into that. Home Depot at 4%. And also, yeah, nothing too crazy here, but ExxonMobil about 1.6%. In terms of dividends, since last week, I think we've gotten quite a few. So you can see here we received a Google one for $1.36. Oh, Realty Income for $1.06. Coca-Cola for $3.67. Another O Realty Income for 54 cents. We have a Next Era for $2.89. We have a security interest loan, or lending interest, I mean. We have 3.14 from Duke Energy, and then another 2 from Shell and Home Depot, around $6 each. So pretty nice. That's around, well, we can see in a sec here. I guess I'll go to that first. So just in the month of December alone, we've had $54.99. We're expecting probably another $2. But yeah, pending a few. You can see that it's pending 6 cents from NVIDIA, pending $2.88 from Prologis, and around $5 from Pepsi. So yeah, not too bad. Moving into the overview here, we can see unrealized gain. So there's been a lot of movement down on AVGO, unfortunately, but it's still up 40% for the since we started. So it's super nice. AMD still rocking at 94%, and yeah, you can see Nvidia down here at 30% and whatnot. So on the opposite side of things, this is what I was worried about. AMT is around 14% down, Costco about 10% down, and Procter & Gamble around 8% down. So really sucks, but there's not much we can do except just either sell it out or we wait. So I'm gonna wait because I still feel like this is one of the better options in that sector. So until that opinion changes, I'm not gonna get out of it just because it's losing. Last but not least, we have Webull. So if we take a look at the performance section here, you can see Monday was 16% up. Tuesday was 6% down. Wednesday was 7.62% up. Then another 3% up. Then down 8.18. So funny enough, I mentioned that the Webull portfolio is up around 11.8%, almost 12% this week. But that's with that Friday being down 8%. So crazy. That's why I kind of rebalanced the chart here. It's all over the place. This dotted blue line is Webull, and it's just too much to look at. So I've just basically gotten rid of it, and I've kind of tried to clamp these values. Excuse me. I'm trying to make it so we can see the other values a little bit better, and I might actually make it so it's just the total portfolio and the S&P 500, just so it's a little bit more clear, but I'm not sure. Anyways, guys, that is it from me, and yeah, as always, I wish you guys a wealthy future.